Okay. Hi, this is Norma Reed, co-hosting the Summit Wiser, Worthier, and Wealthier with Wendy Howard. And I'm delighted to have with me Slavica Bogdanov. Slavica is an author, professional coach, and speaker, and she has based her approach on three fundamental pillars: goal setting, time management, and self-esteem. Slavica incorporates a lot of different well-known techniques on success, both spiritual and material, with her own fast results-based program to help you efficiently reach your goals. Born in Belgrade, raised in Paris, Slavica moved to Canada where she completed a master's degree in history of communications at the University of Montreal. For 15 years, Slavica helped businesses improve their revenues as a business developer. In 2006, she left the corporate world, financially free and able to help others achieve success. She's written over 15 books on self-development, time management, goal setting, sales success, weight loss, reprogramming the brain for success. Her life purpose is to inspire, motivate, and empower as many people as possible to reach their full potential and maximize their enjoyment of life. Slavica likes to devote her time to positive charitable organizations, especially those promoting peace, education, and animal well-being. In her free time, she loves to travel and enjoy many outdoor activities. She recently moved to Florida to be able to practice more summer sports as beach volleyball, tennis, cycling, and ocean endurance swimming. Wow. As a professional artist, Slavica will also have her art exhibited in a very well-known gallery in Miami starting on January 11th, 2014. So welcome, Slavica. Wow, quite a lot of accomplishments. Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our joy and privilege to have you. You're so creative, and yet you manage to enjoy so many activities in your free time. How do you do it all?
Well, I guess I coach time management, so I guess I must manage my time pretty well. I'd say I'm very disciplined in managing my time. Evidently, I'm an expert in time management, and that's why I can really be able to do a lot more in a lot less time. And that way it allows me to do a lot more fun stuff as well. And I have a lot of passions, which helps.
Right on, right on. So great time management skills and lots of passion. Fabulous. So could you tell me your story and how you came to do what you're currently doing?
Yes, well, basically, for most of my life, I was in sales, and I was very good in sales. I was always the top seller, so they really moved me very fast to the position of management, marketing director, and business development. And I helped companies make a lot of money, actually fortunes. After a while, I felt unsatisfied because ever since I was a little child, I remember I always wanted to inspire people. I always wanted to write. I always wanted to do conferences, lead people to success. And I was helping companies get a lot of success, but I found myself not being fulfilled. I didn't find that I was really living to my full potential, and I felt I was missing out on my life's purpose, basically. So at a certain point, I decided to really put all my efforts in getting out of the corporate world to be able to actually do what I love doing the most, which is what I do now, which is basically writing and coaching people to achieve success and live the life of their dreams. So it took, it was in 2006 where we really made a turn and started the process of me getting out of the rat race.
Right on, right on. So how do you help people in your coaching work? What is it that you mentioned that you're a time management specialist?
Yes, well, basically, yes. So I base my coaching on three principal aspects. One is evidently time management, because if we don't create time to reach our goals, we'll never get there. If we don't have the goals, if we don't know what we want, we'll never get there. So I help people to actually really understand what they want exactly. A lot of people, that's where the most difficult aspect is really understanding what they want exactly and being very clear and specific on what they want in life so that we can get them there. And the third one that is, I believe, also extremely important is developing one's self-esteem. If you don't believe that you deserve what you want, you'll never be able to achieve your goals. So basically, those are the three pillars. But what I do in depth is really help people reprogram their brains for success, which means I give specific tools that are proven to be 100% efficient, so that people can change the way they look at things, change the way their mind functions, get rid of all their negative beliefs, get rid of all their blockages, understand how success works. There's a science to success. There's a way, a path to follow that's proven to give 100% results, positive results. So I teach them that, and within, I'd say, about 3 weeks, we start seeing everything happens really, really fast with my program. I gotta say, it's quite astonishing. So people start seeing really results in about 3 weeks, and then the real coaching ends from 3 to 6 months, because we implement those tools so that they can use them forever in their life, and they don't need me again. They can go about their lives and just be more and more successful in every aspect of their life. So I have, for example, I coach a lot of people, but I have, for example, one person that was truly dear to me because she came to me in a desperate situation where she was almost suicidal because everything was falling apart. She owed over $50,000. The banks were calling her every day to take her house, and she was in real estate sales. No sales for 2 years. It was absolute catastrophe. Even her health, she had anxiety attacks. She had to call the ambulance very frequently because of her attacks. And I took her, and within 3 weeks, all her anxiety ended, and it's been like that now for almost a year.
Wow.
So all of that stopped. She lost weight because of a lot of different things we implemented about her self-esteem. And within 3-4 weeks, she started getting sales. So that was phenomenal. And she started having, of course, much more self-confidence. We arranged for how we actually set a plan for her to repay her debt. And the money just started coming in. I created budgets with her. So I gave her all the necessary tools for her success. She was so successful within a month and a half. She changed so much that her boss asked what happened. She told him that she had me as a coach, so he took me for his business. It worked so much that he hired me now for 5 of his partners and his entire family. So
wow.
It's like, it's just, the results are so amazing that people, what happens often is the people around, the surrounding, the friends, the family members are just blown away by how the person can change their lives. So that was extraordinary. I have a person that same thing, very disastrous on the health side. She had a lot of weight, and she tried every single diet that was out there. She couldn't get rid of the weight. And then there was health issues that are related to that, and problems with her husband and also at work because of that. And she started my program, and after 3 weeks, she started losing not necessarily the weight, but her face and her looks started to change. And after 3 months, she did get rid of close to 30 pounds, but she didn't go on any type of real diet. It was a lot of changing the way she eats, changing how she loves her body, loves herself, and really setting up a plan. We work with plan and goals, and for every person, it's a different system, a different coaching system. So I'm passionate about it. So all I do day in, day out is, research, find different methods, find every tool that I can have with me, like a mechanic would fix a car. So I'm a mechanic of people's lives or success. So when they come with me with one problem, I have all the tools, and I give them those tools so they can use them. And what I love, what really brings a lot of joy in my heart, is after that they still continue being in contact with me, and then they say, well, you know what, I cheered up this person, or I gave them this advice that you gave me 3 months ago, and it helped this person out, and now I'm helping others. And that really fills my heart with joy, because it's like a ripple effect. You bring about so much beautiful change in people's lives, and they radiate joy, they radiate that they're living life to the fullest. And that's when I start living my purpose in life.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, those are quite the results. Congratulations. You mentioned that there was a specific formula for success, a scientific formula for success?
I find there is. I searched for many, many years. There is things that every successful person does. It's a habit, different habits that you need to implement, different habits for different goals that you want to reach. But there are certain, it's really methodological, and it's habits to change. So when you look at someone's success, it's never an overnight success. They worked for that success maybe for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's a planned set of actions, but with a methodological way to implement every part of the big picture. And it's done through a real process, and I bring people through that process, and that's why we see change really, really fast.
Fabulous, fabulous. Wow, it sounds fascinating, actually. Sign me up. Awesome. Okay, so just amazing results that you're giving, you're providing.
Yeah,
and then you're being creative and expressing yourself through your art and your writing, and that must be immensely fulfilling as well. Is there a particular style or message that you give to people through your work, through your art? And
Well, ever since I was young, there was one idea that I always had was freedom and justice was always for me very important, two pillars of my life, I believe. And those are the pillars, and then my purpose is to inspire, motivate, and empower people so that they live their lives to the fullest and that they realize their dreams. So in every creative thing, everywhere I put my finger or I put my energy, it is for that, to inspire, empower, motivate, to drive people so that they know that they can have freedom. And the justice is that we are all equal, and we all are equally deserving of abundance and happiness and richness and everything we want. So this is the justice. And the freedom is that we can be free of all the negative beliefs we have to reach every mountain we want to climb. So yes, in every creative thing that I do, my writing, the painting, there's always this willingness to bring a light into the person's mind, into the person's heart, that they see that everything is possible, and to give them that inspiration and that motivation to create their own life.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, that's just sounds fabulous, Slavika. It took you 15 years to leave the corporate world. So that, my understanding is you left in 2006. So
yes.
Had you been planning leaving it for 15 years?
No, not at all. Actually, what
No?
happened is I found myself really being very miserable at the end of those 15 years. I was making money and I was helping others make a lot of money. And at a certain point, I thought there must be more to life than this. And I went through a real life understanding that I really wanted to go on my own. And I thought, if I can do that for others, if I can bring so much money for others and have them succeed and have them thrive, maybe I can do that for myself without having to work for someone, but work for me, helping even more people maybe. So that was my drive, my why, my motivation. And it took me, I planned it a year in advance. So it was a 1 year plan to transform my life in that 1 year. And it started really because at the end of those 15 years, I had a lot of traumatic events happen. I got divorced. My father died. Through the divorce, there was, of course, separation of the house and belongings and a lot of difficult moments. And I think that pushed me to the edge of saying, I don't want to ever live difficult times again. I want to have a beautiful, wonderful life. And so it was really that pushed me into planning that within a year, I would become financially free. I would get out of the corporate world and do my own and be my own and help others.
Beautiful, beautiful. So when you took that leap of faith to start out on your own, you said that you had done about a year of planning before you actually took the leap.
Yes.
So when you finally did take the leap, did you already have things in place, or was it like a huge, like just a giant leap into unknown territory, or did you already have some things set up for yourself?
It was a lot of it was really a leap in unknown territory, because what I did basically is I invested in real estate. So I mortgaged my house to have leverage to start investing, and so it took me a year to plan, and a lot of it also was research and but I didn't know that much about real estate investing. So that was the part that was very, very scary, because I was getting into something that I didn't know much of, but I knew I had the intuition that I had to try, and no matter what happened, at least I would get the experience, if nothing else. But I knew I had to do it. It was stronger than me. And yes, so it took me about a year to really plan it well. But I think no one's ever 100% certain before they take that leap of faith. That's why it's called a leap of faith. So when I did jump, I had the feeling that, oh my God, what am I doing? Because it was extremely scary. It was going into complete unknown territory after that. I didn't have the security of a pay. And I was going into real estate investment, which was, something that I've never done before. So it was very, very scary. But I did plan it for a year. So there was a lot of things on paper, at least on paper, looked. And I had, of course, I had contacted people that were into the business. I had my own coach that was helping me with that. So I did, it wasn't totally a crazy step. It was planned. But the actual doing it, it's always going into the unknown anyway. That's where the fun begins. It's out of the comfort zone.
Right on. So what would you say to people who want to take that leap of faith and start something on their own?
Well, if I would to give them an advice, the first thing I would say is to be very specific and precise on what they want to achieve, what they want to do. So really put it timely, specific goals, so that you know that you have that amount of time. Plan as much as you can, and I'd say write all the reasons why that will motivate you through the hard times. So there are always going to be hard times, but it's the motivation that will push people. And I always say the why drives the how. So as long as you have a powerful why, something that's really motivating you to doing it, the means by which you're going to achieve your goals are going to come much easier. So I'd say have a humongous why, and then have also all the why nots, all the reasons why you didn't take that leap of faith yet. What are all the missing tools, what you need to achieve that goal? So it might be not enough education, not enough knowledge, not enough money, not enough this, that, and the other thing. So to list them all so that the person can actually reply to all of those things blocking, so they can unblock those things to go forward and move forward faster. Sometimes we don't know what is blocking us, so we never take that leap of faith because it's always in the back of our mind. But by putting it on paper, it actually, like I always talk to my coachees by saying, it's like having monsters under your bed. As long as you don't put the light on them, they're big and they're scary. But when you put light on everything that's blocking you from advancing, it's like putting light on those monsters. They have much less grip on your reality. They can't really do anything to you. But you can act and reply to all those negative things and say, well, this is the steps that I'm going to take. And then what I would say is, after planning, every day do one little step closer to at least create a foundation that's going to help you take that leap of faith.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Great advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you also devote a lot of your time to positive charitable organizations, promoting peace, and also have a love of animals. What has led you down that route?
Well, peace, evidently, peace in the hearts of every individual that I coach, and peace goes throughout the world. So for me, everything is linked. If I can do it on a wider scale, I will do it on the wilder scale. Same thing as education. I devote time to educate people individually, and also I believe in changing the education on a larger scale to help much more people get education. As for the animals, I believe we're all here together. We're all the same. We're not separate. And those beings have so much unconditional love, and they're so creatures that are so beautiful, magnificent, extraordinary, that for me it's like giving back to this beautiful planet that basically we take advantage of by living on the planet. So it's giving back to this universe as much as I can. I think that's the ultimate essence of a being, is being able to give back as much as we can. This is the purpose of a lifetime. And I think it's truly maybe the greatest achievement we could realize in a lifetime, is being able to give back. So, and I just love animals enormously. And the peace, evidently, because the more people are going to feel good, the more peaceful they're going to be, the more the planet's going to be peaceful in its entity.
Yeah. Yes, that's for sure. Thank you. So what life lessons have made you a wiser, worthier, wealthier person today than you perhaps once were, a few years back?
Well, I'd say I was very lucky to have a lot of failures in my life. So much more failures than a lot of people I know. And thankfully, I think I tried a lot, but a wise man says that you need to fall 7 times and get up 8 times to be really successful. So I'm thinking every time, it doesn't matter, I'll get up again and try it again and do something. So I think the number of times that I fell helped me to, first of all, have less fear of failure, which is one of the major causes where people don't succeed, is the fear of failure. The second, I think I learned so much out of all my life experiences, everything I've tried that didn't work out sometimes, helped me to really be able to not only succeed, but also teach others how to not make those mistakes, the ones I've done. And I think the third, what it really helped me is to be more compassionate, more understanding, less, I can't criticize, I don't judge people, because we all are here trying to evolve, but also getting a life education. So I think, all my failures helped me to become really wiser and wealthier, and do evidently less mistakes, and become more and more wealthy and worthy. But I believe mistakes are great, because that's how we become wiser and greater and bigger and more helpful to others as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Great. That just, brought me back to one of your pillars being that of self-esteem, and, and how those failures can sometimes, if we're looking at it the wrong way, diminish our self-esteem, whereas with looking at them as just a different way of doing it, and how we can continue on, that fall down 7 times, get up 8, really becomes a self-esteem enhancer rather than inhibitor. Yeah. Exactly.
And basically it did develop my self-confidence, because when you fall and when you get up afterwards, you feel invincible. You feel like, well, I can take it on. I mean, I can take the problems. And I think success is really being able to take bigger and bigger problems. Problem is a great thing. It's actually something that helps us grow. It's something that helps us be more educated. And I welcome them. I believe, yes, you can either fall and take it as a hit and look it, but in a wrong way, or take the mistake and learn from it. And the faster you learn the lesson, the greater you achieve greater success. And it's all, and that's why my coaching is a lot about reprogramming the brain. It's also looking at things differently. Always a question of perception. The way we look at things really influences the way we're going to react and also be proactive in our life.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what are your 3 best tips for a wiser, worthier, and wealthier 2014?
I'd say with all my heart, I would give, the advice I would give is to love yourself more and more and more and more and more all the time. I think that would be my first tip. I think people think that they're not worthy enough. Most people think they're not good enough. They don't deserve it enough. They're not intelligent, educated, whatever enough. And I want to let everybody know that you are enough. You are perfect just the way you are, and you can do whatever your heart desires. If I've done it, it's not because I'm better in any way. It's just because I did it, and anybody can do it. So the first thing is to believe in yourself and love yourself. And with that love of yourself, knowing that you deserve the best, you're going to be able to get better results. I said the second tip would be to really set achievable goals. Don't go over too wide or too small, but set something that you can achieve, and then act. Do one step every day to reach that goal. Push yourself, motivate yourself, stay committed. A lot of people drop the ball after a month, 2 months, but just staying focused, staying committed. Doing one thing at a time, but doing it well. And then really, because you love yourself, saying that you deserve that success. And everybody does. Everybody has the same, equally the same amount of deserving the best that there is in life. And there's not a lack of best there is in life. There is enough for everybody. And everybody is enough to get all of that. So I'd say really to love yourself, have that self-confidence, and just set achievable goals, because that's going to help build the self-confidence and be able to reach by little steps daily reach the huge success that awaits everybody at the end.
Yeah, it's amazing how far you can go with taking little steps, isn't it? And if you don't take a step one day, just correct and continue the next. It's pretty amazing how far you can get. Yeah.
Exactly, and I coach sometimes people for their lifetime, so some things I leave them with that they're going to use, I hope, for the rest of their lives. And I tell them, 20 years will go by anyway. It'll go by anyway. So why not use that time to do those little steps? A lot of people say, yeah, but it's going to take such a long time to get there. But that time is going to go by anyway, so at least use that time to get to that goal, even if it looks so far away. One day that's so far away is going to be tomorrow. So even if it takes a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, those years are going to go by anyway. So it's better to take little small steps, and then one day, 5 years down the road, somebody goes, wow, this person had an overnight success. Yes, it took me 5 years. But yes, now I have my overnight success. A lot of people tell me, oh, you're so lucky. There's so many great things happening to you. And oh, look at your art galleries accepting your work. You're being published. You're being in conferences. You're being this. You're being that. And it's like they're all amazed as if I didn't work for it. And it's like, yeah, but it took a lot of work to get there. But I did it every day. Every day I put my little effort. And then it's not the luck. You create your luck. You create it by working at it a little bit at a time. It doesn't mean to be suddenly moving a mountain, but a rock at a time will move the mountain.
Yeah. I think that's really great advice. The whole thing about it isn't overnight success. It's all the little steps and the time that it took, the 5 years, the 10 years, the 15 years, the 20 years before that overnight success occurred. I think too many of us are just into instant gratification and want to be the maestro or the artist or the success at whatever we're doing without putting in the energy and effort that's needed.
Exactly, and it just does not exist. It just does not exist. Yeah. If it's an overnight success, it will be an overnight failure. It just doesn't exist because it takes all that experience, the knowledge, the sweat. It takes all of that to create the masterpiece. It cannot just appear in a day. It takes all that energy. It's like, when you look at masterpieces of great known people, they've worked so much for them. It never happens overnight. But people think, well, if it doesn't happen overnight, I won't put the effort. But on the other hand, it's not such a huge effort if it's spread throughout time. It's not like, so do a little bit at a time every day. You don't need to, like Miguel Ruiz says, just do your best every day. Think, did I do my best today? And if you feel you did your best, that's already great. It's already fantastic. But just do that little thing, because the day will have gone by, and utilize it. Use it to create the best life you can for yourself. And live every day to the fullest as well. It's not just projecting, I'll be happy when. It's be happy now while doing all the things you want to do to create that life.
Beautiful. It's just been an absolute pleasure talking with you, Slavica. You're giving some great free gifts away as well. Do you want to let us know what's included in them? And
sure, definitely. My pleasure. So basically people can get access to any one of I have a lot of books on Amazon, so no matter what the book, I would send a PDF format to them with great pleasure, so at least they can get a lot of tips and a lot of my experience and knowledge. I'm happy to give away 1 hour of my time to anyone who needs advice, who needs to talk to me for whatever questions they have, and they want sound advice. I will do that with great pleasure. And I also thought I'm gonna give away a $200 discount for a month of coaching, so at least people could access. And a last thing, because it's just on its way to being created, and I'm very excited about it. In Florida, I'm gonna create in end of August 2014 a group coaching so that people can get empowered in group. It's a 10-day intensive. It's reprogramming the brain, getting re-energized, and really a transformational that's going to change the lives of everyone that's going to attend. So that I'm giving also a $500 discount if people want to participate in this.
Wow, wow, what incredibly generous offers. It's a reflection of your generous spirit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. So anything that you would like to add, Slavika?
Yes, I think just to maybe to conclude, I will tell everyone that the reality that they want to create is really at their fingertips. Every day that comes to you is like a white canvas, and you can choose all the colors in the world to paint that canvas. And the future is really, really, truly what you want it to be. You don't need to project in the future your fears and your worries and your past. It can be created exactly the way you want it. It has been proven again and again and again. And your past does not have to be the foundation for a future or proving the kind of future that you will have. I come from a very difficult childhood, and I've lived through very difficult times. So everyone has the capacity and the possibility to live the greatest life